Welcome to a 1v1 on Langreskaya. This game is between Honeynuts and BananaInPajamas. And I know both of these players. I'm pretty sure I said welcome to BananaInPajamas in his introductory post on kotu.org, actually. And Honeynuts is a moderator in my stream, so I know both of them quite well. I'm a lot more familiar with Honeynuts' play, though, as he was obviously the winner of my tournament, Starcross Cup. So I've cast him many times. And BananaInPajamas, I think I've cast a couple times as well. Maybe only once. But regardless, this should be a good matchup. I'm pretty excited to watch it.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Honeynuts is playing as Overcommander West in the North Base. We've got BananaInPajamas playing as Soviets in the South Base. Double conscript opening for BananaInPajamas, and then following up with a second Combat Engineer squad. Interesting. I've never seen somebody get that after their first two conscripts, so I'm wondering if he's just getting that for
Engineers ready for assignment.
capping power. Or possibly he's going to be utilizing that to tech up later, or now even. Would be interesting as well. Spreading out and taking territory on both sides of the map as usual, although this conscript squad actually went straight for this house over here on the right side. I think that they will win this engagement against the Stern Pioneers here. You can see through the silhouettes here that it looks like 4 conscripts are firing on the Stern Pioneers, actually. I'm not even sure how that's possible. Oh, because there's two windows here in the south, and there's one in the roof. Okay, so Honeynuts kind of messed that up by allowing his Stern Pioneers to stand on 2 separate sides of the house. He should have just stayed over here, but instead he kind of was split diagonally, and a lot of conscript DPS was coming out on his Stern Pioneers during that, so he kind of messed up. I think he was busy microwaving his SWS half-track there. So he was forced to make a quick retreat, and now his half-track is kind of getting swarmed by these conscripts. BananaInPajamas is not researching anti-tank grenades, so he has no intention of attempting to finish that off. Meanwhile, it looks like this second squad of combat engineers was made for capping power. This is actually the original one. This is the second one. So the second one's capping over here on the right. The original one trying to fend off some Volksgrenadiers on the left, but they're definitely going to win or lose this engagement, especially at that range. It doesn't matter what range, though. They would lose no matter what range they were at, unless he upgraded them with a flamethrower, which he doesn't have the munitions for, and even if he did, he's not in his territory. Meanwhile, over here, these conscripts are trying to engage Volksgrenadiers, but pretty outmatched. More conscripts capturing down here. Combat engineers will finish taking the fuel point there. Those combat engineers are slowly getting whittled down. Meanwhile, the Volksgrenadiers have moved into the capture circle, and they will be able to take that fuel away from Banana. And we have 4 conscripts now on the field. BananaInPajamas still has no tech structures, but he doesn't have that much manpower, so I'm thinking he must have done something. I guess not. I guess this is... yeah, never mind. It's just got those 5 squads. 4 conscripts, 1 combat engineer. Meanwhile, Honeynuts also getting a 5th Volksgrenadier squad, so lots of core, cheap infantry being produced by both of these players so far. Lots of spreading out and taking territory and harassment by both of them. Looks like Banana won the engagement over here. Nothing to counter-harass these conscripts either. Having a little bit of difficulty catching up with conscript spam. I think conscript spam might be one of the best counters early on to Volksgrenadier spam, because squad for squad conscripts should win, and they're also much more cost-effective as far as their grenade, in the sense that Molotovs are only 15 munitions, and they don't have the incoming munitions penalty. Not to mention, in this particular instance, BananaInPajamas controls both of the munitions points, which means that Honeynuts can't really afford to throw any grenades. He has to just not throw grenades. So he can't really engage that cost effectively should his opponent choose to get Molotovs, but instead BananaInPajamas actually went with double flamethrowers. And that will probably help a lot, actually. harassment continues over here. These conscripts will continue to grab that munitions point as well. Double flamethrowers in the house means taking up a position in cover nearby is suicide. But he leaves the house since he's not able to get any flame bursts off at that range. He's now going to attempt to close in across the right side here, possibly get inside of this building. I don't think Honeynuts Volksgrenadiers can win this engagement. Oh, grenade! Doesn't do much though. He does manage to dodge that just in time, and like I said before, Honeynuts doesn't have the munitions to do that anymore. He needs to spend his next 90 on a Panzerschreck. If he... well, that's not totally true. Conscript spam usually means that there's not a light vehicle on the way anytime soon. Especially if you see shock troops thereafter, because it probably means that he's going to be holding out for Collins. Honeynuts hasn't seen the shock troops yet, but he will soon. So there's not a huge rush to get the Panzerschreck yet, but you do need to start purchasing those pretty early on. You kind of want to make sure you have Panzerschrecks available to you once the tanks do start hitting the field. And if you find that you've thrown a ton of grenades, then you may have kind of screwed yourself over for the late game. Especially when your munitions control isn't very good, which it's not in this case. Mine's going down by those combat engineers, very nice. Putting that in the green cover position, and the way squad behavior works now, there's a pretty decent chance of a squad getting quite clumped as it's approaching cover, so certainly can be effective. Shock troops hitting the field, and they will be successful in pushing away both of these Volksgrenadier squads. I don't think Honeynuts is going to throw a grenade here, so he's just going to have to retreat. I'm surprised he hasn't retreated already. I don't know what he's waiting for, and there he goes. Conscripts engaging more Volksgrenadiers at range. Honeynuts falling really behind on territory now, holding no fuel and no munitions. I'm not sure what that smoke grenade was about. Oof. Shock troops on the flank, circling around. Looks like Honeynuts has finally chosen a doctrine. He went Luftwaffe ground forces. He called in an MG-34 to help him deal with the wave after wave of shock troops. BananaInPajamas hurls a grenade with his shocks, but it doesn't quite connect, but he has 68 munitions coming in, so that's hardly some big expenditure for him. Nasty damage on that Volksgrenadier squad, but he will be able to retreat. These Stern Pioneers in green cover will be able to force that shock squad away. However, nice positioning on that Stern Pio squad there during that engagement.
We are losing territory.
Squad back to full strength. Crew
Honeynuts is moving his SWS up. It looks like he wants to set up his tier 4 in a defensive forward position. Oh! Oh, I thought, for a second I thought that machine gun just got wiped by that mine. But fortunately, one model does survive. There's an engagement happening over here. These conscripts are definitely going to lose that. We also have tier 2 getting constructed by BananaInPajamas. Probably thinking he's going to need a field gun soon to deal with a looks rush, which it looks like Honeynuts wants to do. He's got 20 fuel to go, so about 2 minutes before he can afford that looks. He didn't place this particularly aggressively. He knows he's not really in a position to defend anything crazy like this. So all I can defend is this cutoff rather than the cutoff and the victory point. But he does manage to cut off his opponent's resources here on the left side with his Stern Pioneers. He's also got a squad of Volksgrenadiers harassing around the north. So he should be able to hopefully at least decapture that before his opponent can react. Nice use of sandbags over here on the right side, and it looks like BananaInPajamas wasn't quite watching this because he didn't close into close range, but he does pay attention soon enough to at least dodge that grenade. Meanwhile, Honeynuts is forced away on the left side by shock troops. I have no idea why those conscripts aren't closing the gap. They won't win at that long range against them in green cover. He should have just... When he had superior numbers and Honeynuts had not yet thrown the grenade, he should have walked right up to those sandbags. Now I think he's going to lose this engagement. Even if he charges now, I think it's too late. He'll take too much damage on the approach. He should just retreat this conscript squad unless he's going to Ura up and Molotov, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but he doesn't have Molotovs researched. He's just slowly bleeding manpower and giving vet to those Volksgrenadiers for no reason, so I think that's a mistake by Banana. There he goes.
Grenadiers ready. Capture complete. No Grenadiers back to full strength. Taking fire!
Uh-oh. Fortunately, there's only 4 models in this shock troop squad, so I don't think that's going to get wiped. It's probably just going to take a couple model losses. Also, the logs kind of interfered with his ability to chase a little bit there. No model losses, in fact. Lucky for Honeynuts. And we have a quick T-70, a T-70 rush from BananaInPajamas, probably hoping to punish his opponent's late Shreks, or missing Panzer Shreks. Honeynuts has been a little bit liberal with grenade usage. I think he's thrown 3, which is about 1 full Panzer Shrek, a little bit less than 1 full Panzer Shrek, and he hasn't purchased any yet, although he does have 100 munitions. He just purchased one just now. There it is. On this squad is in his base. So, that was kind of a reaction to seeing the quick T-70, I think. And he just bought another one. Yeah, on this squad, which is here in the center. And his opponent will see that he's constructed Tier 4. Honeynuts not going with the looks the way I thought he was going to, instead just getting some Obersoldaten. Maybe he thinks he's 2 behind. A 50 fuel setback means that his Panther's not going to arrive for a very long time, so he just has to save up for that Panther. Doesn't think he can afford looks. He's just going to get some Obersoldaten out instead. And Obersoldaten are pretty good, actually, against conscripts, certainly. Whereas the looks is more effective against shock troops. But against conscripts, Obersoldaten are almost better because of AT grenades. It's actually quite possible to lose the looks just to massed conscripts if you're not careful. Honeynuts retreats from an incendiary barrage here in the center. Doesn't take any unnecessary losses. No big deal to retreat that short of a distance anyway. And he's actually moving his second SWS half-track out over here on the left. Conscripts are winning this engagement. Honeynuts really needs to evacuate that building before he loses this squad. It's going to be some time, but he's not going to win this engagement. And if he doesn't pay attention to that flamethrower coming up, it could be disastrous. 1 model remaining. There he goes. Meanwhile, the T-70 has been repaired and encounters his Obersoldaten, and his SWS. It's not going to get away. There's no AT over here at all. I don't think he was expecting that T-70 to circle around that direction. I don't know what he's going to do. There's no Panzer Shrek upgrading on this. I don't think that SWS is going to get away if he blocks it, which it looks like he's trying to maybe do. No, he's not. He's not being too aggressive because he doesn't want to get in range of the Schwer headquarters, but he could have easily destroyed that if he had been a little smarter about that engagement, but he kind of messed it up, and he was also busy microwaving an artillery strike over here, which didn't really do anything. I feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity for that T-70, but then again, Honeynuts was extremely lazy about retreating that Volksgrenadier squad. He just stood it there in front of that T-70 and it gets wiped. So, that is definitely a win for the Soviet player. That was a good push by that T-70, but I think it could have been even better. High explosive barrage going out on that machine gun, and it's very clumped. 1 perfect shot could be devastating. Oh! Shock troops' cover position is destroyed over here, and they're terrible at range. They're going to be forced to retreat. His window of opportunity to charge and inflict some losses is long gone. Now he risks losing the squad if he doesn't pay attention. There he goes. And a field gun is moving up here. I think he's trying to use his T-70 to give him vision so that he can attack the truck itself. We'll take a look with the Fog of War. His T-70's vision radius is going to help him try and finish that off. He's going to try and actually tank it rather than just spot it. Unfortunately, the field gun is, I don't know what it's doing. Not firing. He almost risked losing his T-70 in that engagement. 1 Panzer Shrek would have been sufficient to finish it off, so that was a dangerous move. You probably want, now that he's Vet 2, In recon mode, he should easily be able to provide vision. Oh no, what's he doing? No! Never mind, recon mode is no longer an option. These conscripts are not going to be able to win that. Forced to retreat. Healing up in the base here. The second squad of Obersoldaten has hit the field. Honeynuts is up to 3 Panzer Shreks. And he has 110 fuel. Still coming in kind of slowly, but he has taken control of the right side fuel point. Taking some territory over here as well. Expanding outwards as Obersoldaten will certainly help. Now that the T-70 has been destroyed, it won't be able to bully him either. And I'm wondering if BananaInPajamas is thinking of another core tank, or if he's just going to hold it out for Collins now. He has 190 fuel. And actually has the command points for the IS-2, so I think there's basically no chance that he's going to get a T-34. He's just saving for an IS-2 at this point. In fact, I think he's going to be gated by manpower rather than fuel. And Honeynuts is now taking this opportunity to harass the left side to take pressure away from his Schwerer Panzer headquarters on the right. And it looks like there's going to be a shock troop squad sent over there, which won't be enough against these 2 Obersoldaten. Won't be nearly enough. Taking damage at range. He should probably just retreat. No, he's throwing the smoke grenade. He's going to try and close the distance and do as much damage as possible. Honeynuts is going to block their pathing with the SWS half-track, even at 17 minutes, which is really risky. I mean, not that risky. He doesn't really need this one, as he's built the tech structures he intends to build. Bundle grenade going out. Both of those grenades inflicted 1 model loss. Grenade and counter grenade. The LMGs are enough to force a full retreat.
This territory is ours. Enemy forces are capturing our supplies. An isolated sector.
Combat engineers taking the strategic point on the right, while Honeynuts is taking pretty much everything on the left. Soviet really struggling at this point. All of his pushes have failed on the left side because he only dedicated about half of his forces over there while he was harassing territory with his other squads here on the right. And he misjudged the level of resistance over here a little bit. Conscripts attempting to take the central victory point. They can't really get into this green cover because the victory point is in the way, and these armor-piercing rounds are going to force them to retreat. I think that was a slightly overzealous use of armor-piercing rounds. I don't think that was necessary on that 1 conscript squad. How much is that anyway? It's only 15. So, actually, why not? I thought it was more than that. But the IS-2 is here. So, hopefully the Soviet player will be able to utilize that to make a bit of a comeback from his current situation. He's definitely going to have to. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just call in a KV-8. His opponent didn't have that much AT at the point when he hit 9 command points, I don't think. So that could be bad. Ooh, I thought that was a squad wipe for sure. I think Honeynuts is lucky to get away with that one. Conscript should be able to win that. Yeah, Honeynuts is retreating that Volksgrenadier squad. And meanwhile, Honeynuts just hit 175 fuel. So he can call in his Panther now, which he is doing. Oh! Man, that IS-2 is making a really nice entrance. Wiping 1 full squad already. And he actually utilized attack ground right there to try and get a shot on that Volksgrenadier squad as it was retreating, but didn't work. Attempting to harass over here on the right side. He will lose this, though, to those Sturm Pioneers. Unless he gets a miracle. I should probably unequip that minesweeper. No, it's not even really necessary.
Copper back to full strength.
Combat stations!
Wow! Squad wipe city over here.
Been lost.
The gun was even destroyed with no chance of recovery. Well, I guess that's why it was a squad wipe, because the gun got destroyed. Well, no, nobody survived that either. It's getting some really lucky hits. Wow. Wow, look at that. This thing was almost like a mini ISU. Not sure who's going to win this one. That's going to be a close engagement. Alright, now it won't be a close engagement. And this is forced away by the double conscript squad. The Panther hits the field. The IS-2 is actually at about half. And there's only one combat engineer squad, so his repairs are going to be very slow. He needs to be very careful how he uses that tank. If he lets it die to that Panther, he will almost certainly lose the game. He's not really that close to being able to call in a new one either. Several minutes away, in fact. In fact, if Honeynuts went all in with his Panther right now, I'm not sure that IS-2 would survive. There is an AT gun over here, so that's probably a move that he can't afford to make. Neither of these players can afford to lose their tank at this point. Either one of them losing their tank would be disastrous.
Enemy movement!
Grenade going out from those shock troops. They're trying to close the gap, but it's just way too much stuff for them to try and chew through. Models are dropping, and they will be forced to retreat. The machine gun turret on the Panther certainly isn't helping things. Nice harassment of the territory, however, by these conscripts. He's kept all of his conscript squads alive, I believe, for this entire time. So
Squad numbers back at full.
he has a lot of capping power and harassment power at this point in the game, but Obersoldaten, of course, make excellent counter-harassment squads and harassment squads. There's not much that can take them on in these lone engagements on the flanks of the map.
Fire on that infantry.
Ooh,
Relay orders.
nice shot by that field gun, punishing that Panther for peeking its head out, although now these Obersoldaten are going to try to punish that AT gun for that, and AT guns no longer grant green cover, which I think is a bug. So, positioning it in cover like this can help, depending on which model they decide to fire at. AT gun continuing to reposition, and a Maxim has been produced. Hopefully, going to be using that to suppress those Obersoldaten. I'm not sure if he's watching this engagement over here. Those Obersoldaten will wipe that conscript squad if he doesn't retreat it soon. He's also getting a little overzealous with this conscript squad, and I think Honeynuts is just going to let that die. Yeah. He couldn't really afford to pay any attention to that SWS, and it's not important enough to merit his attention when he's trying to keep his Panther alive and trade cost-effectively against that IS-2, which just hit Vet 1. The Panther, on the other hand, about 2/3 of the way. Did that conscript squad get wiped? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Enemy infantry.
I think it did. I think it got wiped. I'm not sure.
Back to full strength.
I'm pretty sure it did. I wasn't watching it.
Standing by. Infantry group lost.
But apparently one of Honeynuts' squads just got wiped just now too. And it was an Obersoldaten squad, I think. I'm not sure where that happened. I think the IS-2 probably just got another, like, miracle shot. Right here. Yep. 4 dead Obers and 1 shot from that IS-2. Wow. That thing is paying off big time. Honeynuts can't really afford for that to keep happening. Oh no. Looks like he noticed that just in time. That could have been catastrophic.
Execute orders.
Field gun standing by.
And in games like this, it really just comes down to who can make the least mistakes. Especially when you have this thing wiping squads left and right, you really can't afford to make any mistakes that might result in a squad dying just randomly on the side of the map because you weren't paying any attention. And that goes for both players. Maxim catches that Volksgrenadier squad, and it will get suppressed, and it looks like Banana wants to charge. His IS-2 has been fully repaired. If he can get some lucky shots off with that IS-2, maybe some squad wipes, maybe hit Vet 2, he's going to be in a really good position. The more of a veterancy lead he can get on his opponent's Panther, the better position he'll be in to take it out. Panther forces away a squad on the right side. Looks like he didn't take any model losses. Conscripts are moving up to grab that strategic point, keep the pressure up, keep the harassment going. He's using a lot of his munitions on these high explosive barrages, which means he can't really utilize his incendiary artillery barrage. Which I guess is a strategic decision by him. Trying to just take out small clusters of troops rather than clear an area. The incendiary barrage is almost a guaranteed wipe on a Raketenwerfer if it doesn't retreat like immediately. And clearing out the veterancy on a Raketenwerfer can go a long way, especially towards helping your IS-2 win a critical engagement or get a little bit of extra time to fire at enemy units. Mine has been planted here. Things are kind of stalemating a little bit here in the center. Neither player can afford to get too aggressive. Ooh, nice shot by the IS-2 there, but it takes a lot of damage in exchange. The field gun gets a nice shot on the Panther and it has to back away. That Raketenwerfer is going to be Vet 3 soon if it keeps on getting these really nice shots off. I think Vet 2 is the... I'm not sure what weapon targeting means, rate of fire. I'm not sure which veterancy level gives them better range. I guess they have to get pretty high up there to get better range.
Has been cut off.
Honeynuts continues to take territory back on the right side. Not much in the way of harassment from Banana over there. He is actually sending his shock troop squad again, and they're Vet 3, so they actually make a pretty good harassment squad as long as the Panther doesn't move to counter-harass. And we actually have a second IS-2 hitting the field. This conscript's taking a lot of heavy damage, screening. Oh no, don't lose that. There they go. So that second IS-2 is going to be a lot for Honeynuts to take. Oh man, I can't believe, I'm really surprised at how effective these IS-2s have been. This is crazy. Honeynuts being forced to replace a lot of his losses. Fresh Volksgrenadier squad here, fresh Ober squad here, throwing a lot of manpower into remaking these squads that he keeps on losing. Freeing up BananaInPajamas to start outproducing him with tanks. Honeynuts has 140 fuel at the moment. He could get a second Panther. He could save for a King Tiger. He's got some options. Sturm Tiger honestly could work, but that's kind of a risky move, especially because it costs 560 manpower. But it would definitely be useful to clear out these team weapons. So, something to think about, but against two IS-2s, you probably can't really afford to do that, especially when your Panzerschreck's getting wiped out. IS-2's getting really aggressive now, going for an all-in push. Massive damage inflicted on that one. Panther, or Raketenwerfer, Panzerschreck over here. It's going to get forced to retreat. This IS-2 is a Vet 1, will be Vet 2 soon, trying to take out the Raketen. Honeynuts decides to retreat it before it could get wiped. He really wants to preserve the veterancy on that, and his Panther has done a good enough job of pushing those tanks back, although the field gun is Vet 2 and has been moved up to support, getting some nice shots off on that Panther. The Maxim's also been positioned as well. Ooh, field gun snipes those Sturm Pios. He absolutely cannot afford to lose those Sturm Pioneers. It's his only means of repairing the Panther right now. And he really is not in a position to be blowing 320 manpower on replacing them either. So if that squad had been wiped, that would have been extremely bad for Honeynuts. So he's definitely glad that didn't happen.
Back to fighting strike.
Small arms fire!
Grenadiers back to full strength. Back up to full force.
Battle promotion! Hit the engine!
IS-2 is starting to miss a little bit. Conscripts taking up a position in green cover. Look like they're doing quite well against that Volksgrenadier squad. Vet 0, because it's fresh. There's their Vet 3, so they're doing quite well. Meanwhile, these conscripts are taking some territory over there. There's Obersoldaten trying to get the fuel back under control. The shock troops are on their way back up to support as well, but they just crossed a road in front of Obersoldaten. IS-2 trying to push them back. Raketenwerfer's moving back up. Panther has been repaired back to full. The Sturm Pioneers have had the support package for a while, giving them that increased repair speed. And really nice usage of this field gun by BananaInPajamas. Getting a field gun to Vet 3 is actually not easy, and extremely helpful in taking on a Panther especially. Look at that damage and penetration. It's getting a lot of really nice shots off, and Honeynuts is repeatedly forced to pull it back. And every time he pulls it off the field, it really slows its rate of veterancy gain. Of course, once it hits Vet 2, it's going to get a really big armor bonus. And I'm not really sure how effective a Vet 3 field gun is against a Vet 2 Panther. It's kind of when a rock meets a hard place in that regard. Conscripts are going to engage as these low vet Obersoldaten over here. They're wounded. I'm not sure who's going to win this. A frangible going out will definitely secure that engagement for Honeynuts. Nice use of the frangible there. But they will get away without any more model losses. Meanwhile, the Maxim is engaging these Raketenwerfers here in the center. Nice use of the Raketenwerfers by Honeynuts. They're pretty much the only thing keeping those IS-2s at bay, and one Panther certainly is nowhere near enough. Panther finally hits Vet 2, getting that armor bonus. It takes a lot of damage, though. Vet 3 field gun still doing a perfectly good job penetrating it, though, and he's having a lot of trouble pathing around his own Raketenwerfers. Fortunately, that IS-2 shot just missed. If that had not missed and had penetrated instead, I think he would be in a lot of danger right now. But it looks like Banana wants to go in really hard. His Raketenwerfers are not rotating to engage, but he does use Blitzkrieg and gets to safety. The IS-2 is not in a position to chase, and he will instead try and wipe that Volksgrenadier squad, but it's reinforcing too quickly. Meanwhile, this one is circling around. Oh no, those Shocks have an MG34. Oh jeez, everything is dead. Both Raketenwerfers wiped, as well as at least one Volksgrenadier squad. I think the one in the base may also have died. It looks like it did. So 2 Volksgrenadier squads dead, both Raketenwerfers dead, and in exchange, Honeynuts did manage to take out the vetted IS-2, which is actually a very significant loss for BananaInPajamas, but he'll be able to replace that quite soon. Honeynuts, on the other hand, is up to 200 fuel now. The King Tiger will probably be here soon, unless he feels pressured to purchase a another Panther if he doesn't think he's going to last that long. That being said, as far as victory points, he's got plenty of time because it's Langreskaya and it's almost impossible to harass this, so in that sense he is doing alright, and he has got his Panther up to Vet 2 as well, and unfortunately his opponent didn't destroy these 2 Raketenwerfers when he had the chance. Definitely should have with his IS-2 and field gun. Now his opponent's going to be able to recover those, and that's a shame. However, the shock troops recovering that MG34 is probably one of the worst things that could have possibly happened. That's going to really, really hurt Honeynuts in the anti-infantry department. That being said, he does have his own Vet 4 squad of Obersoldaten. Incendiary artillery getting called here. The shock troops are kind of struggling to take on that much infantry. It's a little bit too much. The field gun is dangerously exposed. I think he's going to lose the vet on that field gun, which is a real shame. Maybe not. It looks like he is, though.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
This is repairing in front of... Oh, never mind.
More of our troops have been lost. We have an isolated sector.
Another IS-2 is on the field. It's still... Wait, Honeynuts spent some fuel on something. I wonder what he spent fuel on. I don't know. He spent fuel on something. Going to delay his King Tiger a little bit, whatever it was. Oh, he built a mechanized regiment headquarters. Oh, he didn't have that yet, and that which is why. I didn't even, that didn't even occur to me that he hadn't purchased that yet. So, it wasn't actually as close to his King Tiger as I thought he was. Yikes. Wow. Honeynuts getting a little over aggressive with his Panther there. I don't think he was ready for that second IS-2, or third IS-2 rather. He still hasn't recovered his Rakettenwerfers, and there's absolutely no way he's going to be able to save this. And if those IS-2s rushed his base, I'm not sure he would be able to save his Panther. He could blitz it to safety and just drive around in circles, I guess. I'm really surprised Banana didn't take that opportunity to chase it straight into the base and wipe it out. Because I think he could have won the game just now. Now, maybe not. He's getting repaired very quickly, but I think if he had charged the base, he would have won the game just now. Because Honeynuts is still pretty far from that King Tiger, but once the King Tiger arrives, it's going to be a lot more challenging for BananaInPajamas. A lot more challenging. He could still win, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he could have won the game just now. And it's getting aggressive with the Panther once again, but the field gun has been repositioned to take it on. Those conscripts are taking a ton of damage. Their AT grenade does not penetrate. Those Obersoldaten may wipe them. Yep, there they go. Unfortunately, this Maxim was not rotated to suppress them, which was a bit of a mistake, costing him that conscript squad. Wow, that was a terrible shot. I don't think I've ever seen a shot miss that much before. Soviet player has to spread out a little bit, start playing the territory game again. Shock troops moving to harass the fuel, while conscripts go for the strategic point way over there on the left. Panther is now up to vet 3. Ooh. And those Obersoldaten are up to vet 5, and they're going to kill that field gun, which is really out of position. Airborne assault getting called in, wiping the field gun and dealing heavy damage to those combat engineers, forcing them to retreat. The Obersoldaten also will be forced to retreat. Doesn't want to risk losing that squad to a lucky IS-2 shot. The Fallschirmjäger coming in, incendiary barrage coming in. The Fallschirmjäger do not fire Panzerfaust, I don't think. IS-2s are failing to hit anything in this engagement. Meanwhile, the Panther is just firing away, forcing both of them back, and Honeynuts is getting pretty aggressive with his Panther now. I think BananaInPajamas is probably cursing himself, wishing that he had taken this thing out when he had the chance. It's now vet 4 trying to finish off the vet 2 IS-2. One more penetrating shot could do it, but he is going to be forced to disengage. The last second, he can't get any more aggressive with that. That being said, Honeynuts now has 250 fuel. He's extremely close to being able to call in his King Tiger. Only 10 more fuel until that arrives. And from the look of things, that could be a game-winning King Tiger.
Engineers are standing by.
I think BananaInPajamas kind of failed to follow up on his big push on that Schwer Panzer headquarters, and it's slowly costing him the game. Obersoldaten just suppressed those shock troops and will win that engagement. He definitely should have closed the gap. Although actually, I don't know, it's pretty close. Honeynuts will retreat because he can't afford to lose that. Maxim firing on that infantry. The conscripts do clear out the field gun with Maxim support. Meanwhile, the shock troops are forced to retreat by a bunch of stuff over there on the left side. The IS-2s are slowly getting repaired. A lot of combat engineers being fielded by BananaInPajamas to try and bolster his repair speed. Conscripts going in for an AT grenade on the frontal armor. It does penetrate, and Honeynuts, yeah, it'll be forced to repair, but those Stormfinders are right there.
Lines have been cut.
We're under attack!
We have lost a machine gun crew.
Maxim gets taken out. The IS-2s are almost repaired. The Vet 2 one is repaired anyway. The King Tiger's in production, and there's not going to be a third IS-2 anytime soon.
Supplies to the enemy.
He really needs to produce more field guns to have any chance of winning this game, but he's hurting for manpower quite badly. What he really needs is to have taken out that Panther 10 minutes ago.
We have found the enemy!
Down! Down!
What is that IS-2 doing? Here it comes. Not really sure there's going to be much that the Soviet player can do against this. I guess we'll see. Here comes the glorious final charge. That IS-2 is so out of position, it has its rear armor faced towards the King Tiger. Bunch of screening infantry moving up. Ooh, AT grenade does penetrate and damages the engine of the King Tiger, but I'm not sure it's going to matter that much. Just kind of slugging it out here. Another AT grenade goes off on the Panther, but does not penetrate. Its engine remains intact. One IS-2 does go down. Tiger is receiving repairs while the Panther continues to engage the IS-2. It's probably falling quite low. Yeah, it's not that low, it's at like half.
Mission accomplished.
Tiger moving in on the base. The Panther continues to engage the IS-2 itself.
The enemy now has 200 points.
And there it goes. I think that's probably going to conclude the game. Because with both of those IS-2s dead, and this field gun about to get taken out, there's really no way for the Soviet player to come back from the situation. Oh, and it looks like the Soviet player quit. So that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to send me replays of your own, and I'm happy to do a cast for you. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks for watching.